Good morning. Welcome to the Long Live Alternative Parties podcast. Free Press Media Press Inc., an alternative parties books publisher, sponsors this podcast. I'm Andrew Bouchard. Welcome to the Long Live Alternative Parties podcast. Today, friends, we have another exciting guest on this podcast. We tend to have exciting guests on this podcast, and this individual is an example of this. His name is Jason Karroll, and he is running for a big office. So he's going to tell us about what a party represents and all the exciting things of his campaign. So welcome to the podcast, Jason.
Thank you for having me, Andrew. I appreciate it.
We are glad to have you, Jason. So if we could kindly get started by you telling our audience the party you represent and the office you're running for.
So I'm a Libertarian.
Okay.
And I am running for president. And to be honest, Andrew, I am the least qualified person to ever run for president. But then again, everybody is unqualified to be president, to be honest.
Wow.
So, absolutely. And I am running because I believe in freedom. I believe in no taxes. I believe in no taxes. I believe the entire government should be run by a GoFundMe page. I'm a 100% believer of taxation is theft. I have never signed a contract to allow the government to take over half of my income. And the government is, run by thieves and special interests, and they run wars that, I don't want to be part of. They put my money into things that I don't want to support. And I believe if we opened up the government to a GoFundMe page, you could support whatever program you want to support. And I believe that would end a whole lot of government waste. Waste like us paying for the sexual result, sexual tests to see what moles, these tests that the government funds that are so wasteful. Like if you look at all the waste every year, Rand Paul does on his Festivus, where he airs his grievances, where he talks about all the government waste. And, we're paying for soccer in Afghanistan. I mean, why is my money going to pay for soccer in Afghanistan? I don't care if they play soccer. I want my money to go where I want it to go. And, the government just takes your money and just spends it whatever they want.
Oh, wow. So I take it you have nothing particularly against Afghanis playing soccer. You just don't believe the government of the United States should sponsor it.
No, I don't. If the Afghanis want to play soccer, I don't care. I just don't think I should have to pay for them to play soccer. I don't think I should have to pay for the test, to find out how grasshoppers mate. Why do I have to fund that? All these stupid funding, and all it is these government, these so-called representatives of the American people. All they are doing is just giving their money to their buddies that actually support them to get into office. And that's the great thing. And that's the great thing about this campaign. I'm not taking any money. I'm just running it as totally grassroots as possible. And if the people vote for me, they vote for me. I think it's a time for liberty. My platform is not, Trump is make America great again. My platform is make America free again. That's what I want. I want freedom. I don't care. I want my money to be spent how I want it to be spent. It's my money. And it's the people's money. And they should be able to fund whatever they want and give the money back to them. And stop propping up these banks. Stop propping up these corporations who pay these. I mean, ever since when they allowed all these corporations to be able to fund campaigns, that is where the downhill of the United States has gone. And all these corporations are paying for these so-called representatives of America, and it's just going to keep on a cycle. And to be honest, Andrew, both these parties, Republicans and Democrats, They're two wings on the same bird. We just need a whole new bird. We just need a whole new bird.
All right. That sounds good.
Yes, sir.
So given your policy, it sounds like you're in line with the Libertarian Party. I'm wondering if you take it further than most libertarians do. So is it? I've seen the term read before, but I never heard it pronounced. So forgive me if I mispronounced it. Is it a minarchist? Is that what you would describe yourself?
Yeah, I would say I'm more anarchist, libertarian.
Okay.
I believe in capitalism. I believe in anarchism. I believe in freedom. I mean, to be honest, Andrew, who am I to tell you how to run your life? I'm just a 48-year-old man who has a wife and has a farm and just wants to be left alone. And I think that's what most Americans want. They just want to be left alone and not be told how to live their life. Who am I to tell you how to live your life? Do what you want, and that's the basic principle of anarchism. Leave people alone, and freedom. Capitalism is a great thing when it's not run by cronyism. America is not it's a crony capitalistic society right now. When all these businesses are funding the government, so they could pass their laws to get through, I want to end all that.
Okay. So it sounds like many people, you're against crony capitalism, yet you think capitalism in its pure state is a good thing.
It's an absolute great thing. When America was founded by the Pilgrims, they tried socialism and they almost starved to death. Yeah, they almost starved to death. And socialism, every country that does socialism never works. And America's been on the edge of socialism for a long time. I mean, we have a lot of socialistic policies, and we just need to end all that and get back to freedom and liberty and just leave people alone. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you get elected to office, what would be they usually have a 90-day plan when they start a new regime. So what would be your 90-day plan? What would you do right away when you got elected?
Well, my first thing would be I will, to be honest, Andrew, I would love to just disband the entire government, but that is not going to happen. So my first goal in there is to cut taxes totally, and we're going to end all taxes. We're going to, all federal taxes on a federal level, give the power back to the states, and let the people run their own lives. So as far as that goes, also I would, any nonviolent crimes where there is no, when there is no injured party, when there is no injured, like for instance, you have millions of people in jail right now. We have more people in our prison system than we have in some countries. And the government is the ones who gets rich. So I would end if there's no injured party, they would be pardoned right away. No injured party. Yeah. So like for nonviolent, no injured party, like, they would be free. Like, if you smoke pot, I don't care what you do. And to be honest, Andrew, I've never done an illegal drug in my life. And and I can say that, proudly. But if you want to smoke pot, if you want to do drugs, I don't care what you want to do. As long as you're not hurting somebody else, you're fine. So that's what I would end up doing. I would end up cutting all taxes, all federal taxes. We will set up a GoFundMe page for the entire government. And you know what? These politicians, these presidents have been using the power of pen with all these executive orders. And my first executive order will be to end all federal taxes and tell the government, hey, you know what? Think about it. When a baby is born, a baby is born. I don't know if you know this. They are ready in debt to the government, $220,000 to the government. Wow. And how is a baby who's never spent a dime responsible for what we have wasted with our stupid vote?
Good point.
Yeah, and and to be honest, Andrew, my whole life I've been a conservative. I was a Republican, and what changed my mind on the entire federal government was during the Mitt Romney campaign.
Huh.
And I don't know if you remember that campaign, but Mitt Romney was running for president.
Yeah.
And he was totally wiping the floor with Obama with the first two presidential debates. And it looked like, the state of the economy, the ineptitude of Obama, and it looked like Romney was going to wipe the floor with Obama. And then the third debate came, and every single question Romney responded when Obama said, "I believe this," Romney said, "Oh yeah, I believe that too." And that showed me there is really no difference between the Republican and Democratic Party. You think about it, the Republicans love to waste money on their social issues. Democrats love to waste money on their social issues, but they both have the same process. They both want to waste your money. And that's my point. I don't want to waste your money. I want you to spend your money where you want to spend it. And if you want to fund politicians to be in office, by all means. If you want to fund me to be president, by all means. But if you don't want to fund me, don't pay for me. I'll be fine.
That's a good perspective.
Yeah, I mean, these guys come into office. Oh, and then another executive order that I would write into it is term limits. First thing, two elected cycles in office and you're done. Get out. Enough of these career politicians. I mean, we're tired of them. The reason why Trump, resounds with people is because, he's a so-called outsider. But people forget he's the one who funded these politicians as well. So, and it's a circus. You remember during when Trump was president, and during his State of the Union, when Nancy Pelosi ripped up his State of the Union speech. But if you forget, they funded everything he said. So what was that for? It's all a circus. This whole political cycle is a circus, and we are the puppets.
So you said no federal taxes. So do the states decide for themselves if they want taxes, and the localities do the same thing? Is that how that would work?
Yeah, I mean, you can't determine what, as far as presidential, you can't infringe on the states, and their rights. And that's basically what I would want to do, is give the power back to the states, all 50 states, and that's originally how the United States was, conceived, was, hey, you each write your own laws, you know what I mean? And you guys, you govern yourselves, and if people want tyrants to rule over them, that's their choice. But that's the one thing I'm not going to be, a tyrant. I'm going to give the power back to the people.
Okay. So to spread your message, how are you going about doing that? What's your strategy for reaching the voters?
Word of mouth. Word of mouth. Social media, word of mouth. Do I expect to win, Andrew? No. Because, I mean, the people are too brainwashed to think, a message like mine is like radical. You mean you don't want any taxes? No! I don't want any taxes. Taxation is theft. And people are like, well, what about the roads? What about the roads? What happens with, let's think about it. I live in the state of South Carolina. They raise taxes on gas to fund these roads, okay? South Carolina has some of the worst roads in the world. And where's my money going? Why did you guys raise taxes? And you know what? If I could give my money to help, and we could pool our money together as people, say, hey, look, these roads need fixing. For instance, Andrew, like right now, Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza, they have a thing right now where they're snow plowing inner city streets. And why are they doing it? Because, well, first of all, it's a good PR move. Second of all, it's a great move because they know if the streets are not plowed, they can't get their product to the people. So what would happen if the people stopped paying for, for the roads? Businesses would have to pay for the roads. Businesses would come out and they would fund the roads, because they need the roads to get their product to the people. And that's basically what, Tony, so these businesses are paying these governments to pass their expense to the people. And that's why these taxes are being raised. The businesses, because they don't want to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So basically put the onus back onto the to the businesses. Hey, you guys want good roads to get your product to the people? You pay. A few years ago, Domino's was fixing potholes in the inner cities. They had a street paving crew. Why can't we, the people, now if we want to go fix our own street, which my street is terrible, and if I want to go fix my own street, and if I go do that, I could get a ticket and a fine for fixing my own street.
Yeah, that sounds messed up.
It is. It's a terrible cycle, but if you had your own money and you're able to pay for, like if I want to pay for the police officers, if I want to pay for the firefighters, that should be my choice. It's my money. I should be able to spend it how, like J.G. Wentworth. It's my money. I should be able to use it when I want it.
So how does that work with police though? Because if the criminals aren't going to pay for the police, they don't want to be arrested. So how is it? Would people pay per time if someone was invading your house and you needed police intervention? Would you pay them service?
Well, what cops stood for, right? Cops is citizens on patrol. That's where the word cop came from. Citizens on patrol.
Okay.
So why can't you patrol your own streets? Why can't you control your own neighborhoods? If I see somebody breaking into my neighbor's house, I should have the right to stop them, right? That should be. If I see a person being attacked, I should have the power to stop them. Why do I have to call the police and wait for the police to arrive? And that person might be severely injured.
Huh.
So citizens on patrol. Police your own streets. If you want to pay for certain citizens to, govern your streets, that's your choice. You should be able to pay for that. But if I don't want to pay for it, I don't have to pay for it.
Okay.
So, but people would pay for it. You know what I mean? Because if you have more money in your pocket, and you have more money and say in what you want to spend, you could put your money where you want to. So, like, if you want a stronger police force in your neighborhood, and you don't care about the migration of the, Muscovy ducks, if you don't care about the migration of certain ducks, why? Put your money where you want your money.
Okay.
So it's liberty. It's freedom. Do what you want. It's your money. Do what you want. Spend it how you want. If you add it all up, Andrew, when you take in federal taxes, you take in state taxes, you take in sales taxes, you take in death taxes. We're taxed everywhere we go. Gas taxes. Everything we go, and we're double taxed and we're triple taxed on everything we own. And that's ridiculous. These guys are nothing but thieves, and they're con artists, and we keep on electing them because it's an endless cycle, and we think we need them when we don't need them.
Sure. So your message sounds more straight to the point and clearer than a lot of messages of candidates who tend to be more convoluted.
Well, their message has no consistency. We want to cut taxes, but we don't want to, but we want to still spend. I want to end taxes, and you spend it where you want. Here's the best example. Do you remember when Trump wanted to build the wall? When Trump wanted to build the wall, right after he got elected, they put a GoFundMe page on GoFundMe for the wall. And within 2 days, they had like $20 million raised for the wall. And GoFundMe said, no, we can't have that. So people will pay for what they want. If you want a better border security, pay for it. If you want a stronger police force in your neighborhood, pay for it. If you want corrupt politicians stealing your money, you pay for it. I mean, pay for what you want. I don't want these politicians. These guys make over $250,000, and I'm paying for these guys to be tyrants over my lives, over our lives. Enough is enough.
Sounds good. So Jason, I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Go ahead, please.
So given your message, your point is very clear. Like I said, it's very concise and it's very to the point. Your point is very to the point. So can you tell our audience how they can get involved in this and how they can make your campaign more successful or as successful as you need it to be?
Social media.
Social media?
Social media is the way to go.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you want to join in this, Karroll2024.com.
Okay.
That's the website. And I look forward to people who are like-minded. We don't have to believe in everything socially the same way. And that's the great thing about freedom. Believe what you want. I'm a Christian. I believe I believe in certain things. I believe in liberty. I believe in, life. I believe in it. You put your money where you want to put your money.
Sure. So it's up to each individual to choose what they want.
Yeah, freedom.
Perfect.
Make America free again.
There you go. That's your campaign slogan. Sounds good.
That's my slogan. Make America free again.
Jason, we thank you for coming on the podcast today and talking about your campaign. We wish you well in your campaign and everything else you do in life.
Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate you, my friend.
All right. Take care and all the best.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.